College football week 10 is in the books. Another amazing weekend of action. Let's evaluate it here with our top 25 all together now. That actually makes sense. Somebody's got to do it. I've taken up the challenge. I appreciate all of your comments down below. I will address those. Please like the video, share these videos out on social media. You enjoy the content. Even if you don't agree with me, you enjoy the content. Others will as well. Share the videos out on social media. And, of course, subscribe here to the Voice of College Football. Best discussion, debate, and analysis because of you. 13 Power 5 teams are 6-3 right now. Consider that. Trying to sort through 13 teams in the Power 5 are 6-3. We evaluated 41 teams. Most of you ask for an honorable mention. I get that because teams don't just drop off the cliff because they're not number 25. Number 26 isn't much worse than number 25, so we'll give you the honorable mention here. Minnesota, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Iowa State, Kansas State out of the Big 12, Virginia, Utah, Arizona State, Texas, San Antonio. Yes, a team can be undefeated. A team can also drop after winning. We don't rank these teams in a vacuum. It's a resume process. Also, Louisiana, Appalachian State, San Diego State, Nevada, and SMU in the honorable mention. Yes, we don't rank these teams in a vacuum. Consider that. The entire resume is considered, not just adding on the last game. So there are games in the past, whether they be wins or losses, that gain weight or lose weight as teams improve or decline throughout the season. So the resumes re-evaluated each and every week. Here's the top 25 that actually makes sense. At number 25, Clemson back in the rankings. They knocked off Louisville over the weekend. Check out that Georgia game in week 1. Who else has stood toe-to-toe with Georgia? Clemson's at number 25. At 24, Pitt. NC State at 23. Great evaluation between these two teams. NC State with much better losses as both teams are 7-2 in the ACC. At number 22, Houston coming off an unimpressive win against South Florida, but the Cougars still at 8-1. At number 21, BYU. Plug them into the Pac-12 South. They probably go to the Pac-12 championship game. They've got USC coming up in a few weeks. They'll be a big favorite there. They've already beaten Arizona State, Arizona, and Utah. BYU at 21. Iowa sinking fast at number 20. They finally broke a 2-game losing streak over Northwestern, but barely. 17-12. The Hawkeyes not looking good right now, but the resume is still solid at 7-2. At number 19, Baylor, also coming off a loss to TCU on the road by 2 points. Purdue has notched 2 of the better wins in college football this year. Purdue 6-3, beat Iowa, of course, when they were a top 5 team in the country. Just knocked off Michigan State. The Boilers go to Ohio State this weekend. At number 17, Wisconsin. The Badgers stumbled early, but now they're playing good football. They have recently knocked off Purdue and Iowa. Of course, they get another win over the weekend. And those losses not looking so bad. Michigan, Notre Dame, and Penn State. Speaking of which, Penn State at number 16. Nittany Lions break a 2-game losing streak. Beat Maryland by 17 over the weekend. Arkansas back in the win column with a nice win over the weekend at number 15, knocking off Mississippi State, who was previously ranked. At number 14, Auburn. We thought that maybe the Tigers, after notching some really impressive wins, could make a playoff push, but they got dominated by Texas A&M over the weekend. Auburn at 14. Wake Forest finally loses. Demon Deacons at number 13 fall to 8-1, lose to North Carolina in a scoring fest, 58-55. At number 12, Ole Miss, just battered by injuries. Matt Corral missed the game, still beat Liberty by 2 touchdowns. Ole Miss at 7-2. At number 11, Oklahoma State. The Cowboys haven't really notched a marquee win. That's coming with Oklahoma and Bedlam the final weekend of November, but they've got a string of nice wins. Baylor, Texas, Kansas State, Boise State. Here's our top 10. The only team to beat Alabama, Texas A&M, playing some great football. Dominated Auburn yesterday, so early season struggles past them. Texas A&M now 7-2 at number 10. Number 9, Notre Dame. Really haven't beaten anybody good, but a collection of decent wins, and of course just the one loss to Cincinnati. Speaking of which, Cincy at number 8, undefeated but unimpressive week after week after week after week. Check out the highlights against Tulsa, who had the ball on the goal line at the 1-yard line to win the game against Cincinnati. Cincinnati squeaks by again. The Bearcats undefeated at number 8. Number 7's Michigan. That Wisconsin win looking much better now by 3 scores over the Badgers on the road. Michigan defeats Indiana this past weekend. At number 6, the only team to defeat the Wolverines, Michigan State falls from 2-6 after losing to Purdue. At number 5, Ohio State. The Buckeyes, of course, with the loss to Oregon, beat Minnesota, beat Penn State, 2 good wins, and also the only team in the Big Ten that has just annihilated and crushed the likes of Indiana, Maryland, Rutgers. Nobody else has done that but Ohio State at number 5. Number 4, Oregon. What can you say about the Ducks? They've only lost 1 game. That was to Stanford. Stanford's pretty awful at this point, but they beat Ohio State. They're 8-1, and they continue to slip by teams like they did Washington by 1 score. At number 3 is Alabama. The Tide not looking great against LSU this past weekend, but of course they've just got the 1 loss against Texas A&M and a collection of decent wins: Tennessee, Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Oklahoma's undefeated. They had the bye week. They're at number 2 at 9-0, and the number 1 team in the country. It's not even debatable, not even close. It's the only team that has played a complete game every week. They are crushing everyone. Dominant wins across the board for Georgia. They are number 1. That's our top 25 that actually makes sense. Please, of course, comment below. We will address your comments. Like the video, share the video out on social media, and we will see you next time.